Good afternoon.
Good
I'm not
afternoon.
sure about that last one though. I'm trying to. It was Philip, a friend of ours.
I think so.
Yeah, but we did on the first
We just
program.
don't see him anymore.
No, on the first program of Live and Kicking, we did a sort of a cheap joke at his expense with his wax dummy at Madame Tussauds. So we phoned to let him know, but we've not heard anything back. So he might not be a friend anymore.
Oh, well, I think he's gone off to ITV or something, hasn't he?
Yeah, that's true. For apparently a £5 million deal or something.
Yeah, I think that's right.
Yeah.
Terrible. We should have at least taken you two with him anyway.
We're not his pets.
He didn't want to go.
5 million? 5 million?
Oh yeah, that's true. I hadn't thought of that.
You've been working together since 1981, 12 years now. Do you feel that your zany, wacky, sort of outrageous styles changed much since you first started working together?
It has. I'm trying to. All those adjectives to describe it confuses me a bit. I think it has. Well, it's changed, but it's in a weird way. It's sort of gone full circle, I think, to some extent, hasn't it? Because like we're now in a position where, having established ourselves a bit on TV, we can do more oddball stuff, which is maybe what we actually started out doing. When we started off, we were doing very stupid stuff, and we seem to have gone full circle. Although a major change is that we do characters and things, whereas when we started, we never did that.
Just the stand-up routine like you do on the live shows at the moment?
Sort of, although our live shows are a mixture of things. Right? I mean, we just finished a tour this summer, and that was like kind of some stuff as ourselves, and then a lot of the characters as well. We keep on nipping off and doing quick costume changes.
There's a tape out by Laughing Stock of your tour from '92, I believe, which is it's a shame it's been edited. It's a shame it's been edited because there seems to be a lot missing from it. To cut it into about an hour tape seems a shame not to bring out the whole thing.
It is a shame. But then people who are disappointed with that can buy the new videotape of our 1993 tour, the Blimey That's Good tour, uncensored, live, with a PG certificate. You can buy it at any shop. And as for the price, who knows? It's not up to us.
Do you want me to say something? Not really, no, I was just listening to him. He was doing a good job there. I'm going back to the only thing we've actually changed in a big way is that we write quicker than we used to, because we used to just have a 20-minute act, whereas now we write about 20 minutes a week. And we used to do this sort of same 20 minutes for about 2 years, just on the sort of comedy set. Whereas now we can just churn out rubbish quicker.
You get into a pattern, which, I mean, it might sound a very kind of negative thing, but it's actually a good thing. You learn how to write comedy, and you know, there will be certain rules, and they're there to be broken and stuck to, really. So, you know, it's a bit of both, but it does become easier through
and it's getting more high-tech as well, because we used to just write on scraps of notepaper, whereas now we're just being asked by the BBC production team to get modems on the computer so we can send scripts down the line and all this sort of thing. So it's a whole new world.
It is. You have to have a degree in something to be able to do this. I don't know what. Computers and comedy. Anything beginning with C. I don't know what I'm on about.
More of a private question than anything. What exactly did you study at Manchester? I believe that's where you met all those years ago.
That's a very private question. I can't answer it.
Studying wasn't the word, I don't think. We both did a degree in drama, but a lot of the time, that had nothing to do with the comedy we were doing. Really, we sort of did that in our spare time. We had a lot more spare time than most people, I think.
Was there any specific moment or reason why you decided to go into the comedy circuit? Did you just not want to do a proper day job or something?
Well, it's actually, contrary to popular belief, it's not a proper day job, but it is actually quite a sort of demanding job. But
so demanding.
It is demanding. But no, one thing that inspired us when we were in Manchester was the fact that being comedy fans anyway, I think it was something that most probably both of us had always wanted to do, but there was a definite impetus from the fact that people like Ben Elton and Rick Mail and Aid Edmondson had all gone to Manchester University as well, and they were just getting to that point when we were there where they were starting to appear on TV and things like the young ones were coming out. And I think there was definitely a sense of, along with other friends who were still doing comedy, of seeing them and thinking like, oh well, if they did that, you know, it might be possible for us to try it, and we did.
Where would you say you get some of your more outlandish ideas from? Is it just off the top of your head, or do you sort of look around you and see weird things happening and then copy them in a way?
Well, you just get inspiration from anything around you, really. When I was up in Edinburgh during the Edinburgh Festival this year, me and a couple of friends went to this museum, and there were some some mud skippers on video, and we just thought it'd be funny to have a character which was a mud skipper with a human head, because they're just these funny creatures that sort of hurl themselves across mud for no other reason. I don't know what the reason is. So I mean, that was just seeing that. I just thought, well, that would be, wouldn't it be funny if we did that? And the fact is now that we're at the stage where we can do these things, whereas I think a few years ago, if we tried to do it on Going Live, they wouldn't have let us because it was too weird, I think. But, so I mean, and you just see things, but funny hairstyles, costumes, things people wear. I mean, we don't go around analysing people and think, oh, we'd do a character, based on them, but just little things.
But I think I mean, some of the things do definitely just come off the top of our heads. I was like once looking on the top of Trev's head, and in his hair was nestled this little garden with a little gnome in, and there were all these videos in there, and that's where the video garden thing, that literally came off the top of Trev's head. Don't know what it was doing there.
I never found out because I never could see it.
You got that shampoo that got rid of it, didn't you?
No, it's an anti-garden shampoo.
Yeah. You mentioned the Edinburgh Fringe Festival. I know you did part of the Fringe Festival back in '84 and '85, a long time ago.
And '91.
And I was going to say, have you done it since?
Yeah, we went back in '92. 91, 92. My memory
End
is
of '92.
Yeah, in 1992 we went back there, and so we'd not been there for like, well, I don't know, 7, 8 years, something like that. We did 11 shows over 11 nights, sold out every one of them in a venue that held 4.
What do you enjoy about doing the Edinburgh Fringe?
I didn't enjoy it at all.
What do you not enjoy about doing the Edinburgh Fringe?
No, it was good fun. It was a small little room. They didn't actually hold 4 people. It was held about 120 or something like that. And it was interesting in that it was a bit more intimate. But really, it was just a scabby old room, and it's just.
And also, you do rooms like that, and it's good fun, and you sell out, and it was great to do. But because we did 11 nights, and even though we sold out, you actually didn't make any money. So
we're only in it for
it was
the money,
a bit of a.
We hate comedy, really.
No, but it was a bit. It was good fun, but like not financially successful.
You do it for the love of it when you do Edinburgh.
The money or the comedy?
No, well, no, because you're obviously not for the money, because there isn't any. You have to have some other reason to do it. Yeah. We wanted to go there so that we could put up great big posters all over the place.
And also, it's good because, like in Edinburgh, the pubs stay open until any time you want.
You can drink all night, which is something. I was going to say
we can't say it's good. We enjoy it though.
Sounds like a good reason to me. Now, you did Going Live for 4 years out of its 5-year run. 5 out of its 6. I apologise, I was wrong. Do you have any regrets about doing it for so long? And why did you not do the last year?
Well, we didn't do the 5th year. We did do the last year.
Yeah, 5th year.
It's very technical.
We wanted to do other things like live performing, which we didn't have the chance to do. Right. So we went off and did a tour, and also we did another programme for BBC Two, but nobody noticed. Yeah. And then that got axed, so we didn't do it again, and we came back.
But essentially, I mean, with a programme like Going Live and now Live and Kicking, although it only takes up 6 months of the year, it takes up all of your time during that, so there's no time to plan for anything else. So if you don't take a break at some point, you can't just reassess what you're doing. You can't plan other things. There's no way we'd have. I mean, the last 2 years we've done 2 kind of major tours. Major as in, like, I mean, they're taking up a couple of months or so, and there's just no way that could be done if we didn't take some kind of time off.
Do you enjoy the live touring circuit more than the TV, or as much as, or less than?
It's totally different. It's a completely different experience. I mean, it's fantastic to go out to like a big sort of venue, like we did the Birmingham Symphony Hall, and we sold out there. It was about 2,000, and to go out to sort of that kind of audience, I mean, because for some reason our audiences are always pretty lively and noisy, and it's just really good atmosphere. That's really good, and the difference between that and a little quiet studio when we're doing live and kicking is completely. It's just it's a different way of performing as well.
And it's quite nice to go out and do the live show and take similar stuff but slightly different from what you've done on TV, and realise that it confirms for you that obviously what you do on TV is working, which is a nice thing to know.
Do you enjoy working with the kids on the Live and Kicking and Going Live?
We don't. We don't go anywhere near children.
There is a myth that there's like a studio full of children, and there just isn't. There are children who come in occasionally to ask questions to Jason Donovan, but that's about it, really.
Actually, what we do occasionally is ask to get some sort of kids involved with a sketch or something like that, if it's appropriate. Like last week we did I don't know whether it's really a sketch, but we did a piece with 2 youth leaders, and we wanted some youths to sit in and join in, which is good fun if they, and they seem to.
When we do sketches where we're using them ironically, if we're bringing them in, and they're like, usually they're older ones, say, teenagers, and they understand what we're doing, I think it can be quite good fun because they know we're sort of doing making fun of the whole thing. So if we ask them to be all miserable and things like that, I think then it's good fun. If it's like doing it directly with them and they're just supposed to laugh because we're funny, it's a bit sort of not as good. But if you can actually get them involved and in on the joke, that's nice.
You're back with the BBC after going live with Live and Kicking. Do you see any differences between the 2 shows apart from the presenters?
It is very similar. I mean, I don't think that's a bad thing because I think it's a good formula. It's something that's been going since Swap Shop and Superstore and going live and now Live and Kicking. I mean, for us, there's a bit more work involved, and we're doing some comedy presenting, like the Video Guard and Daft as a Brush and things like that, where we're actually it's good to have that phone-in, sort of comedy phone-in thing. But otherwise, it's very similar. Our involvement's very similar.
It will always follow a format that does work, which and there are obvious ingredients you have to have in there: cartoons, whatever, games. So I mean, in that sense, it's the same. But it is our involvement is different from what it was last year.
Do you not find though that they got the same games with Run the Risk? You two are back on the programme, and it seems maybe a little bit pointless that they actually axed going live, since it was so successful and so much loved by the whole population of whatever age.
Well, but then people should adapt to this. I mean, they've done is changed the title and got different people in. I think it's quite a good move, really, because Philip and Sarah were obviously an integral part of going live. Yeah. And although I do think that we've sort of come back to this with sort of a different approach in a way. So, but it's the thing is, if we'd have kept the title going live, people who are depressed because Philip and Sarah went are still going to be depressed because they went. People who like going live because we were on it are going to watch Live and Kicking because we're on it. So I don't know. It's just a few words, really.
Do you think people are actually depressed? Do you think it's depressed people?
Well, I got depressed when. I can't think of anything to say. I'm trying to think of something.
It's sad to think that people are depressed. Cheer up if you are.
Yeah, and if TV depresses you, read a book.
Or listen to the radio.
Yeah.
The Enemy magazine described you a few years ago as mad people who talk rubbish and frighten children. Yes. Now, people with more taste would probably say that... probably describe it more as wacky, occasionally outlandish, outrageous, or even all the time outlandish and outrageous.
I like that quote from the Enemy.
You like that?
I think it's tasteful. Well, taste doesn't come into it. I think it's... I don't know if it's accurate.
So
yeah.
It was really a quote about Kennedy the Barbers.
And I don't know if it's accurate, but I like the idea of it, because, as a comedian, I think it's a fine way to be described.
Well, what I was going to ask is, how would you describe yourselves as a comedy act, apart from funny?
I don't know.
Not funny. Handsome.
Yeah. Smart. Neat.
Old. This is like that computer thing where you pick out words, isn't it?
Good. Bad.
Well groomed.
Wood.
Cheese.
Spoon.
And goat.
Right, I think that probably sums up just about everything there is to say about you. Do you have any plans to revive any of the characters from the Going Live series, revive them for the Live and Kicking, or do you want to just keep them in the past now and go on to something completely new?
It's more exciting for us to actually have to create new things, and I like the new stuff we're coming up with, and I think we'll only resort to old characters if we run out of ideas.
Although I think it's unlikely that we'll resort to any of the old characters for TV stuff in this format, in this programme. I think if we were ever to do any other type of programme, we may possibly bring them back, or we may possibly use some on tour, but it would only be it'd be because it would be fun, really. But I think it would seem retrogressive and not good to do them on this programme.
If we could do them in a new way, like on another programme where we could put them into a different context, then that would be a bit more interesting. But in terms of a live studio type of programme like Live and Kicking, we've exhausted all the possibilities with the old characters, I think. But I mean, we've given ourselves different formulas. Like we've given ourselves like a kind of bit more of a traditional like entertainment, like desk and guest type of setup, and that allows us to sort of one of us to be sort of a bit straighter and the other to be a character and work that way, which we've not done before, as well as doing the duo characters.
Right. A few of my friends like to compare you to Vic Reeves and Bob Mortimer. Would you take this as a compliment or or an insult, or what do you think about their humour?
No, I think they're very good. I like them. As soon as I first saw them, I thought it was very good. I could also see some similarities in a sense of humour, which is why I think I like them so much. Yeah. So no, comparisons is fine by me.
I mean, what they've done is quite good, really. I mean, like we've kind of ages back we were doing kind of quite bizarre things, I suppose, and like when we started off on TV and people didn't know us that well, and I think there's an element of like, can they trust what you do? Certain things we'd come up with, we wouldn't be allowed to do. And I mean, since they've come on and in a way opened up sort of different angles of comedy, it means that people can be more broad-minded to things in a way. So I mean, it's possibly what they've done ultimately will help comedy, I would think. But no, they're very good. What a thing to end on.
Alright, now the big crunch question to end with, basically. If a major satellite TV station or cable TV station were to offer you your own half-hour or hour sketch programme, but it would mean you would definitely have to give up the BBC children's programmes, the things that you're doing now, do you think you could quite happily down tools and jump ship?
Well, it depends what the offer was, really. I mean, we have a couple of projects on the go anyway, and there was a moment where it looked like we might be actually going to ITV, because we still are kind of developing a show with Central TV. But then we're also developing one with BBC as well.
BBC Scotland.
BBC Scotland. So we'll follow up
we'll
projects.
We'll happily go where we can, where people want our comedy.
You got to go where the work is.
And I think, but I do think that like it depends on a lot of things. Like if it was like a satellite channel coming to us and saying, okay, well, you can make your own thing, but they weren't prepared to plough money into it or allow us to say who produced it or directed it, then the chances are no, and how long the run was and all boring things like that. But if we could do it with the people we like to work with, and we knew that ultimately we'd end up with a good comedy show, then yeah. I
like the BBC and I'm happy here, and they've been very good to us. But if it came to the point where Live and Kicking finished and there was nowhere for us to go, I mean, short of like staying within the children's department, which I think we kind of like done everything we can in this sort of department, then I don't know, then we would have to move on. But otherwise,
Well, as far as cable's concerned, we would only consider doing programmes for either the shopping channel or the adult channel.
Any particular reasons why the shopping channel?
That doesn't deserve a follow-up question, it really doesn't.
Well, I just thought I'd be pedantic. I'll leave it at that then.
Right, we refuse. We'll talk about the adult channel in depth.
Not on this station. Now, just to end with, do we have any messages to our children's department or to basically any of the patients in the hospital who are going to be listening to this interview in a couple of days' time?
I'm sorry for the rubbish we've just talked.
And we hope that your staying in hospital is a comfortable one and that you're well looked after.
Thank you very much, Trevor and Simon.
Thank you.
Thank you. Ahoy there, listeners! Trevor and Simon here.
You're listening to HRB, Hospital Radio Bedford.
It's live and kicking. Oh, hello. It's Ken Kennedy here, and Eddie's with me, aren't you?
Oh, yes. Hello there.
Hello. We're listening to HRB, Hospital Radio Bedford. It's good to listen to it. It's not a health hazard.
No, but don't come to us because we don't do perms.
No, Eddie,
we don't do perms.
See, we don't do perms.
We don't do perms.
No, I know, Eddie. We don't do perms.
There are the germs in a hospital.
No, we don't do germs.
We don't do germs.
No.